Hello, welcome. So, in this class, we're going to be talking about how fairies can support you and why you want to connect with them. Going to be another fun, exciting class, hopefully very playful. And I hope you have been enjoying this beautiful workshop and how deep in your connection with the fairy beings already. Okay, so just starting off, we're just going to close down our eyes and take in a few deep breaths. And this time round, on your next inhale, I would love for you to visualize breathing in rainbow, the color of rainbow, and allowing the rainbow to travel throughout your entire body, cleansing, healing, relaxing, and just bringing light in. And then calling upon the fairy beings, those that have only mastered true and unconditional love to be in the space now. And those fairies that have come here to support our individual journey. And thanking them as we take another deep breath and arrive back in this space. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to start off with why would we want to connect with fairies, and then we can go into like how they can support us because they kind of answer each other out. So why would we want to connect with fairies, right? Like, they're just another being. You could almost say the same thing. Why would I want to connect with trees? Or why do I want to connect with the sun or this other person or whatever it may be in your life? So for me, the fairies have really supported me on my own journey here. Most importantly, recently with the passing of someone I loved so dearly, the fairies were the ones that were to anchor me back into Mother Earth and bring me back into this reality. So, that happened through a session, and they were able to, because my feet had become disconnected from grounding, so they did it through my spine. And since then, it's just really enhanced my working with them and really brought it to another level. But that's one reason, is that they can actually support us just like any other etheric being, angels, ascended masters, divine God, source. They're all here to support us on our journey. Not every single being is here to support us on our journey, of course not. So we still have those negative beings, but the ones of positive are here. Because what actually happens here on planet Earth, what actually happens with us, actually has a domino effect on other people. And people call it ascension or spiritual growth or evolution, whatever you want to call it. It all directly impacts another person, another being, whether it impacts the plants, whether it impacts, the ocean, so forth, so forth. Like we all have, what do they call it? Like a stamp on things. So that's, to me, that's one of the main important reasons why, connecting with the fairies can be so important. But as well, they also help us to remember our connection to the other realm. So if you are on a spiritual path and you're just starting to dive into it, or you've been in it for a while and now you're just remembering your fairy heritage, your fairy ancestors, it's all part of it. Like, we are all one at the end of the day. If you are a believer in God, everything comes from God. If you're a believer in source, everything comes from source, the stars, the planets, the galaxies, everything comes from one. And that's one thing that we really is embedded in ourselves, and something they can never take away from us, but something that we have forgotten over years and years and years, thousands of years. um, so And then we can bring it back to this reality, right? So how I use fairies in my everyday life. Quite often, if I lose something, like can be keys, can be something, a crystal, can be anything really. I would just ask the fairies, can you please show me? Can you please help me find this? And it magically appears. I cannot tell you how, but I think this part of asking the fairies is best experience than me just sharing my stories. If you ask the fairies to show you where it is, um, you might be super duper surprised, and you might have your own experiences to share from there. But as well, quite often now, and this is what my husband uses as well, is that if you're driving to go do groceries or driving to a car park or something like that, I always tell him, and he just does it automatically now, especially if it's super busy, to ask the fairies to help find a car park. And it is honestly like instantaneous as soon as he asks. And the thing is, like, so we test this all the time. He'll be driving around in laps, no one will be leaving, so forth, so forth. I'm like, why don't you just ask the fairies? And then I can see it in his head that he's asked. And all of a sudden there's a car park, and I just look at him and he smiles, and I'm like, I told you. They're quite magical, but they also can help you with gardening. So I am only just starting to grow my green thumbs, and I do ask them quite often to support me and help me out with the gardening and keeping these plants alive because um, I tend to forget to water them or to look after them, and the fairies really, really support me in that. So it's amazing. So I hope that's given you some ideas of how to work with them. But I do want to say this, and this is like a warning. If I was to ever put a warning on fairy beings, this would be the warning. As mentioned in the earlier class, like, not all fairies are positive, so they're not all light, and there are negative. And generally, if you start to create a close connection with fairies, this could be with any being, by the way, not just fairies, but fairies are quite known to do this, right? So if you ask fairies for something, make sure you ask it with a full stop. There is no contract or know that, they can't come to you for help for, wait, I need to put this in a proper way. So for example, I'll just explain. Sorry, I'll just take a step back and see how I can reword this. Uh, what negative fairies tend to do is that they can be like, yeah, I'll be here to help you, but I want something in return. That is a part you don't want, right? When we are working with high dimensional beings, like high dimensional fairies, those fairies will never ask for that of return because they know through your work, through what you do, you will be there to help with the overall bigger picture. Not, you support with your own journey, but your own journey supports the whole journey. It's that remembering that we are all connected and we're all one. But lower, and this is where contracts get created, and we don't want to be in a space of creating contracts with any being, right? Higher dimensional beings will never ask that of you. They are just to serve. So from the fifth dimension up, like you go all the way up. So that varies depending on what you look up. So some go to seventh dimension, some go all the way to 100 and something. I don't know. Um, from fifth dimension upwards, they would never ask for a contract. They never want to be in your body. They never want to, they're just there to serve. That's their purpose, is to serve now. And through serving you, you will fall onto your spiritual path in deeper depth and deeper connection. And through your connection of that will serve the whole, whether it's just by being yourself, whether it's actually doing community work, whether it's saving trees, whatever it might be. But when it starts to become that, I'll help you find your keys if you help me, if I could live in your body for a day. I don't know. But never like agree to any of that. And if that happens, please note that you are not communicating with a being of light, a positive being, and you can put up your protection field and just say stop, leave, whatever your protection mechanism is at that point in time, just cancel it out, step back into nature, connect in. If you can be in the elements during that time, it will benefit you so much because they're naturally protecting and cleansing and grounding and bringing you back into your body. But I did have to put a warning label on that because, yes, once again, we're not working just because they're known as fairies doesn't mean they're all beings of positivity or positive energy. So I'm also going to include some videos of like what fairies look like from my experience and what we have caught on camera. So that should be really, really exciting, and I hope you really do enjoy those videos. But let me just quickly double check. Um, Okay. So another reason why connecting with the fairies would be really, really awesome is if you need to bring out your inner child to play, if you need more playfulness in your life, more joy, a little bit of everyday magic. If you need to go, not escape, but just love life, actually live joyfully. The fairies are really, really great at doing that. They are such joyful, playful beings that understand the importance of having fun and not always having to be serious. That's why that kid-like energy is very much noticeable when anyone's talking about fairies, whether they're a movie, book, or me talking here. Um, but yeah, and let me just quickly read. Another which could be for the majority of you actually who have signed up to this workshop is that the fairies may have teachings for you. So if you are here in this space, it's because you're being pulled in by the Fae beings. There's a remembrance that's happening within you, and you may need this to be awoken, activated, coming online, whichever word you choose to use. And what it's actually going to happen is help you on your spiritual journey, wherever that's going to take you. There might be some medicine, there might be some nature work that they need to do with you. Maybe they have some flower work that you need to do that can support you healing others, healing yourself, coming up with these new modalities, whatever it might be. I can't say what it is for you, but there could be something. There's teachings coming through, remembrances coming through, and that's another huge reason why working with the fairies. That's another reason why you may have been called back into this space, may have been called back into remembering this within you. All right, I'm going to leave it as that. I do send you so much love, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye.